What's up, guys? Keyshawn Chia here, back at you with another new Ocean Universe video. Now, this is going to be part one of what if Deku was a hybrid, or should I say, was a elder slash human. But I'm just gonna say elder. Now, what is the elder? What is a hybrid? Well, why is he going to be a hybrid, and what the hell is this going to be about? Well, let's first start with hello guys, how y'all doing? I'm gonna give y'all apologies. Well, I'm actually just gonna say I'm gonna do better. I wanted to apologize that I have been posting videos, letting you guys know what I've been doing and what's my updates and why I haven't been doing live streams. The reason why I have been doing all that stuff is because I have been doing work, and I work at a security job, which I work at night, so I can't really be staying up like that through the days. But on the weekends, I'm going to try my best to do videos the best way I can. But today, I'm going to try to do 2 videos, maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know, maybe 1, give or take, depends. But I'm going to try to do 2 videos today. Hopefully not. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. Depends on my situation and my brain powder. But I'm going to try to do that. But this is going to be a new video today. This is going to be what if Deku was an Eldar, or should I say Etrius, or Eldar from XCOM. In XCOM 2, if y'all ever played those games, I will basically explain the game. XCOM 1 and XCOM 2, or should I say XCOM the Enemy Within, or Enemy Unknown, basically is a game about you playing as the commander. It's a strategy-based game where you basically play as a commander, upgrading your base, upgrading your soldiers and stuff, and fighting against the enemy threat that is trying to take over Earth, or try to take over Earth, or try to do some other mysterious plans that you don't know of. But pretty much, your goal is to pretty much save the Earth from getting taken over from the aliens. Now, on XCOM 2, you basically is from XCOM 1, and you basically start as the commander again, but the Earth got taken over by the alien. I don't know how they lost the first round, but pretty much you come back as the same commander. You basically fight the alien threat and pretty much get them off your planet. Pretty much so understandable, right? Now, the Eldar race, or should I say the Eldar, is pretty much an alien race. These are these guys right here, Eldar race. These are pretty much the alien race that has other aliens that they have modified or pretty much mutated with their DNA, but not as into a different state. I will basically show you what aliens they have created. These are, merged in with their technology. This right here, this alien right here. Also, this alien right here. Also, the Chosen, merging with half human, half alien DNA. Their ships. Also, these are their soldiers that they have. And this is also their soldiers. And this is just the worship cloak. This will all be in part 1 video. Maybe, maybe not. Give or take. But let's continue. But pretty much, how would this work and how would this happen? Well, let's start with the aliens from XCOM. Now, this is where XCOM, spoilers if you haven't played XCOM, this is where pretty much the XCOM force pretty much capture one of the Eldars and pretty much capture them and pretty much thought, they captured one of the Eldars and pretty much think they won because they only thought that was only one Eldar. Pretty much after that one Eldar get captured, the other Eldars begins to start speaking with each other, and this is what they follow. What are our people has been captured? This is one of the Eldars, and this is from the other Eldar. Of course he did. He pretty much thought he can overpower the humans with pure force and power. This is the second Eldar, and this is going to be the third Eldar. Of course, this XCOM faction that has been fighting with us for a very long time think they won. But let's start with our next phase. And if that phase doesn't work, we could just always go with the second phase. Which this is what the third Eldar is talking about. This is where the first Eldars agree to the first stage and they begin to make their hybrid, or should I say, if you ever watched the movie The Thing is pretty much this alien creature that can fuse with humans and become like a human by merging itself with the human and pretty much taking over its body. Well, taking over its body and becoming the Thing. Pretty scary movie, but Not really. I mean, depends on how you get scared of. But yeah, enough about that. Pretty much, this is where they merge their DNA, full Eldritch or Eldar DNA with it, and merging some little bit of human DNA, 1% you could say. Now, this is where this Eldar will put in the information of all their research, their abductions of humans and stuff, and also their ideas of weapons and stuff, and all that stuff in this baby Eldar thing, you could say, and the mutation to fuse with a human to pretty much start their early start war, you could say head start. Now, this is where they put it on the ship and says, this Eldar will be sent back. This baby young Eldar that we created should be sent back in time to pretty much start ahead of our research. By the time we come to this planet again in the past to start our evasion, start our work, we will pick up this baby and pretty much have our information of what conspired in this and have our victory much easier than this. Which this is where that's their plan. Now this is where they send off. This is where they send the baby Eldar, a little bit of hybrid of all the DNAs and stuff, of all the aliens and stuff and the information and stuff out in space, sending it to light speed. Now the Eldars pretty much have not really developed light speed like that because this is like kind of a one trick pony. They was kind of in a rational, kind of scared of the XCOM. Didn't know that they will get one of them. So they kind of send it out in space light speed. Didn't know the calculations because it was kind of in a rush to try to prevent this shit from happening. And instead of warping back in time, it kind of light speed into another universe, you could say. And this is the My Hero universe. Now this is where the spaceship will crash, and as it's crashing, it will crash straight. This will crash straight down to Inko's house. And this is where Inko already has her baby Deku, and this is where baby Deku will be born, and he will be in a carriage downstairs with Inko in the carriage, and you could say like in the carriage, and this is where Inko put Deku down on the couch, about to change him until the ship crash in front of the house. Well, on the house, but not like inside like that. You imagine like someone crashing your house. It's kind of like that. So the ship crash and Inko get blasted away, and she hits the wall and pass out, not dead. This is where the ship is opening, and Deku is crying. Baby Deku is crying, and this is where the alien baby will pretty much hop out, and it will begin to start walking to Deku, or you could say floating to Deku. This is where the Eldritch will be fusing with Deku, and they will become as one. But since the Eldars didn't expect a baby fusing with another baby to overlaps with each other with the brain power of becoming one, the memories will kind of get junky and stuff. So of the programming of taking over the earth and having humans and stuff like to taking over the earth and ruling over the earth and doing that shit, that doesn't happen with it. Said it will still have all the Eldritch memories, knowledge, and all that stuff, the Eldritch knowledge and all that stuff of advancing and doing technology and experiments on human and evolving all that and stuff and making these hybrids and stuff, and also making aliens again, but it won't have the memory of its goal setting of taking over the earth and killing humans and all that. None of that happens. So when the Eldar baby fuse, it becomes a hybrid, but at the same time half human, but and half Eldar, and they pretty much fuse as one. Now this is where Deku will pretty much fuse with the Eldar, and pretty much Deku will immediately stop crying and goes to sleep after the Eldar and the baby fuse. Their brain will become linked together as one, well, become as one, but the brain will be much more different in a way. So yeah, you could say that. But pretty much after that, Inko will wake back up, and the ship will pretty much go invisible and fly away into a different location until the time comes. Now this is where Inko will wake up and realize her half is like nearly halfway blown apart, and she will freak out and doesn't know what the hell just happened. Now this is where Inko begins to run to Deku to see if Deku's alright, and Deku is pretty much just asleep, you could say. Now, as Deku is asleep, this is where Inko will check Deku, see if he's scratched or anything, but nothing is really different. Well, Deku is just asleep, like I said, but he will look different in a way. His pretty much his hair will be pretty much all white, kind of like sorry about that, guys. It will look all white, kind of like this. Shit. Sorry about that. Let's continue. But it will look like this. His hair will be white, and his eyes will be like this, but like black, all black. Sorry about switching pictures and stuff. I just want y'all to have a good imagination, a good picture of what he would look like. But pretty much, as Deku will open up his eyes, Deku will be smiling, at Inko, and Inko will be weirded out at first of why Deku looks like this, but she wouldn't mind it because she would think, oh, maybe that's his quirk. His quirk developed in a very young age, like it activated this young, so she would be, just assuming that. But she would immediately get Deku out the house and go to her friend's house, I'll say Bakugo's house, Bakugo's mom's house, and she would actually stay there until her house get repaired, or to stay there for a while. Of course, Bakugo's mom would say yes, and Deku will be living with Bakugo, and they will grow up together, you could say. Now, let's do a little bit of a time skip. Now, nothing will happen much. Deku will be growing up, and this is where I guess we will start a little bit early of what would Deku be doing. A little bit much early, you could say. Well, yeah, let's just start at the academy at the young age. Now, this is where hold on, give me a second. Sorry about that, guys. I had to get my dog out. Which let me know if y'all want to see my dog. But yeah, sorry about that. Let me continue. So pretty much, let's start with the preschool age, and Bakugo Deku being in there. Now, since Deku will be living at Bakugo's house, with his mom, Deku will pretty much get a lot closer. Well, not be really close with Bakugo, but they will be living together. Now, let's start into the hold on, give me a second. Sorry about that, guys. Let's continue. But pretty much, this is where Deku will pretty much. Sorry if I keep pausing the video. If you hear some noises, don't mind it. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where we start at the academy. Pretty much, Deku will be in the same academy as usual with Bakugo. Sorry about that. Now let's continue. Now this is pretty much where Deku will be in the same academy with Bakugo. I mean, not academy. Sorry, kindergarten. And this is where Bakugo will show Deku his quirk, saying, "Look, look, Mizuku, I have my I have my quirk," which he would show the explosions and stuff, and Deku would be intrigued about it, and be like, "Huh, intriguing," like but Deku would sound like that. He would say, intriguing," and be like, "Wow, that's amazing." Which Deku will be looking at Bakugo's arm and stuff, saying, How do you do that? Like, does it just explode on impact and stuff?" Like Deku would be like I would say, how can I say? When we put, I would say this: the Eldar. I'll probably say this: the Eldar are extremely intelligent. They're an extremely intelligent alien force that has higher intelligence, like not like god level intelligence, but higher intelligence than humans, you could say. Sorry about that, guys. I had to change the location because my dog kept making noise, and I don't want y'all to hear this while I'm remaking a new video. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where Deku will, like I said. Oh yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, guys, but this is where I explain again. The Eldar, they are higher than humans with intelligence and stuff. So I'm sorry again, but let me continue. This is where Eldarch is like intelligent, higher intelligent humans, like higher intelligent human with technology and all that and stuff, and also with experimenting and developing and discovering new things and how things work. So Deku will be like that with the Eldars. And I forgot to tell you, the Eldars have cycle, or should I say PSI, or should I say psychodetic telekinesis and stuff, and neuroing with their brain, so they can lift things up. They can mind control people. Also, they can create a big void circle that can do a lot of damage to people and most stuff like that. They can also do insanity, can make people panic, and they can also create a stasis where they can cover themselves up, wrap themselves around, protect themselves or protect other people, or they can create like a force barrier where they can be immune to poisons, acid, and all that stuff. And they can also give people extra energy, like to be moving around much, like to give them an extra boost to move around and not lose energy. The stuff goes on. Well, the list kind of goes off, you could say. But I will explain more in a way. But that's pretty much Deku. Now, this is where I continue again. This is where Deku will be intrigued, be touching Bakugo stuff, and also saying, "How does this work?" Like, asking him a question like, "Your explosions is amazing. Like, how does it work? Is it through your sweat? Like, how?" You know, Deku was trying to figure out. Bakugo, of course, you know, being all childish as he is, saying, "Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my hands. Like, I have just explosions come out of nowhere." Which Deku, well, is more higher intelligence, so he would be like, maybe not. I don't think that's the case, but that'd be cool. Which this is where Bakugo would ask Deku, what's his quirk? Which Deku wouldn't really Deku wouldn't really know what he means, but Bakugo would be like, you don't know what's your quirk? Like everybody has a quirk. Like she can turn things into candy. I'm just going based off random quirks. Like she can turn things into candy. He can go through walls, like to transmission, which Deku is amazed and saying, I don't know. I'm gonna go to the quirk doctor and check what's my quirk. Which um this is where Deku will, you know, after go to his mom and ask to go to the quirk doctor. Now, this is where Inko agrees, and this is where they will go to the quirk doctor, but they're not going to go to the quirk doctor guy who takes quirks, take Deku quirk. He's going to go to a different quirk doctor. Now, this is where Deku will go to a different quirk doctor, and this is where the quirk doctor will check up with and see what's his quirk, and he will say, it seems that you have a unique quirk, which Deku will be saying, what do you mean? Which this is where the doctor will say, well, your quirk look like you can create life creation quirk, where you can create things. Like you can create animals, life, or whatever your mind up to. Which Deku will be amazed. Deku will be like, so I can create things with my hands? Like, yeah, it would take some time for it, but yeah, you can create things like life, humans, and stuff. But I think you should keep this quiet. Like the doctor would say, like, yeah, you can create life with your quirk. Like you can create things, and also you don't need to do natural stuff um like other humans can do. Which Inko would be like, what do you mean by that? Which this is where the doctor was explaining that Deku can pretty much create life without like doing reproductive, like do sex and all that stuff. He can just create life with his hands. Which Inko would be shocked and amazed by this, and the doctors would be as well. But Deku would pretty much just look at this and say, I see. Which this is where he would just get up and start walking, which Inko will go with him, and that's the end of that. Why did I give him a creation quirk where he can create life? Trust me, it's going to be for specific reasons. But let's continue. Pretty much, this is where Deku would go back to school the next day, and Bako asks what's his quirk, which Deku says he has a creation life quirk where he can create things to life. Which Bako will be like, oh, that's cool. You can create life things. Can you also create like another All Might? You could say, which Deku would be like, which Deku, Oh, All Might, I think, which Deku doesn't know his true extent yet because the memory haven't kicked in yet. His memories of the Eldritch side haven't kicked in yet, but he he's thinking about it. He think, but this is where Deku tries to create a version of All Might, and he does in a sense, but it's not as you could say the same as All Might. This is where Deku creates All Might, but it's like a kid version of them, and this new life of All Might be like, I am here, Kid All Might, which I'm just putting it as a joke, but the correction wouldn't say that, but I put it there as a joke. You get what I'm saying? I say, I am here, Kid All Might, which all the kids saying, oh, cool, it's Kid All Might, like, oh, that's pretty cool, Deku. And this is where Kid All Might, a little version of All Might, try to do the short smash, but it just does like a little air push, and it doesn't hurt no one, but it does push like it does do like a little big wind push, and it just push people on the ground. It doesn't really hurt any kids or anything. But when he does the short smash, and this is as Kid All Might says, the short smash, like it just push kids on the floor, and kids are just laughing. But they think it's a cool quirk and all that stuff. But this is where we do a skip on, and we're not gonna start the anime yet of the junior of the whole anime yet. We're gonna do another time skip, and we're gonna have Deku being 10 years old. Now this is where Deku 10 years old party kicks in and all that, and Deku's like preteen, and he's pretty much happy and stuff. Celebrating his birthday. Bakugo's there, and they're at Bakugo's mom house, and the house is almost complete. Their house is almost done, and it's on his 10, and they're saying happy birthday and stuff, including Bakugo. And Bakugo will be the same, but he'll be more close with Deku and friends, and they treat each other as brothers. So this is where Bakugo will grab Deku and say happy birthday, and give him a little nucky on the head and all that, and Deku will be like stop and making jokes and all that. This is where they blow out the birthday cake and stuff, and all that stuff. Now this is where Deku's going outside, and as he's going outside, this is where he will go out for a walk, telling him he's going out for a walk and stuff. And this is where, as he's going out for a walk, he will go to the beach. And as he's going to the beach, this is where he will find this is where he will see something at a far distance. And this is where it'll be like reflecting and stuff. And he will get close to it, and it will be the alien ship. Now, as he touched the alien ship will open up. And Deku at first wouldn't be freaked out, because I'll say this: why he's not freaking out, because since the Eldritch baby and they fuse together, all the human emotions that Deku has, he doesn't have like the same human emotions like a human would have. He has like happiness, anger, and all that, but he doesn't have like the negative emotions like sadness, despair, and hatred and all that. He doesn't have all that. He only has happy and inspiring. Happy and all, and that's pretty much emotion. Happy and inspiring and calmness. So this is where Deku will pretty much go into ship, and he will look around, and I'll say this: the ship of the outside will look medium, but the inside of the ship is big. Not like huge, but big. As Deku look around, he sees all this some of these alien tubes filled with aliens, and he will be curious of it be what it is these things, because he, like I said, his brain haven't really acted fully, unlocked yet. This is where he will go to the front of the the ship thing, and he will pretty much tap the middle of it, and this is where it will wake his brain, reactivate his brain, you could say. And this is where all the Eldros memories and stuff will kick in. Now this is where it will kick in all the memories of the Eldros and the DNA and everything that they programmed activates. But like I said, the programming, if I didn't say it, I'll say it now. The programming was kind of like corrupted and stuff, so he wouldn't get his goal main objective to capture, capture the like take over the earth and capture all humans and all that and stuff and kill and dissect and all that shit. He will only get to evolve. Into he will only his only objectives it will be get humans and evolve. Evolve, and everything else will just go in his brain. Now, as that's happening, he will fall to the ground and he will wake back up, and his hair was pretty much like white. Now it's fully white and purple with purple tips, and his eyes will be fully like developed again in black, much more darker black, like alien eyes, kind of like possessed eyes, but like more black in kind of sense, but alien eyes. And he'll pretty much be like, I remember what's my goal, what I need to do, and he'll pretty much say, I need to evolve, and I need to evolve the race and evolve the human race, which the data got corrupted. So his the main objective was to take over the Earth and to have the other Eldar, but it didn't happen like that. It kind of corrupted. So now it's like not take over the Earth, but it's more like get some humans, evolve them, and also evolve himself, and to pretty much have a higher arc to be get ready and get prepared for the war. Which they're not going to be no war, but just bear with me. But this is where he'll get up and he'll pretty much say, my brothers and sister, where are they? Which this is where he will look and he'll pretty much look at that, check he'll view the board of where he's at specifically, and he'll see that he's not even in the right timeline. He's in a whole different universe and stuff. And he say, so I'm in a whole different universe in these memories, which the other memories didn't get gone. He also remembered the him like Deku, so he will still be Deku but a hybrid now, and also get his Eldritch memory. This is where Deku will pretty much take a breather and say, "All right, it's time." Which this is where Deku will release the case of all the aliens, and I will show you what aliens are there. So first, we're going to show you. It's gonna be these aliens right here, this one right here, and the chrysalis that will come out, and it will also be this alien right here that he lets out, and pretty much that will be it for now. Now after that, this is where Deku will release them, and also let me pause it. This alien right here as well. Sorry if I keep pausing it, guys. I just don't want y'all to see me scrolling left and right. But yeah, that will be the alien right there. Now, this is where Deku will be like, arise, my children, which they will be getting up and stuff, and they will be speaking the alien language. Pretty much will be like, and all that. That I don't want to really make an alien voice because it's going to be cringy. But pretty much, as that's happening, Deku will pretty much say it's time for our next evolution and to evolve and have these humans evolve as well. Which Deku will be like, it's time to get to work. Which the aliens will understand the orders and begins to start getting prepped. And they're not gonna go grab human. They're not gonna grab humans yet, but they're gonna start focusing on repairing the ship and seeing what damages need to be damaged. And also, I forgot one more thing. God damn it. Let me just. God damn it. Oh man, it's not there. But I would say I'll just say this thing right here. This thing right here, and also that thing right there will be the ship command systems and the repair to repair the ship. But pretty much after that, this is where Deku would start his. Oh no, this right here. This thing is also the captain and also the repairer of the ship to repair the ship to make sure that ship is fully prepared. Okay, that's it. Now let's continue. This is where Deku will pretty much head out the ship, and as he's heading out the ship will go back invisible, and will pretty much fly up and fly away into and well yeah fly away well fly up and just fly up in the sky out of space and be repairing and stuff and also doing some other stuff later on. This is where Bakugo will catch up to Deku and say, "Hey Mizuku, there you are. I was looking for you. Where you was at?" Which this is where Deku will turn around and say, "Oh yeah, hey Kashan, I'm sorry. Uh, I was just busy just thinking about stuff." Be like, and Bakugo will be like, "Oh well, come back inside. We gotta get we gotta get. You don't want to miss your mom's food, right?" Which Deku will say, "Yeah, of course," and they'll be heading back. Uh, now let's continue again, and we're going to pretty much not do the start of the anime because before we start the anime, I want to just continue this. So pretty much, we start off with Deku being 12, and this Deku will be much more. His brain will be much more higher now. It will be that of a genius, not even more than that of a genius, you could say. Now, this is where Deku will be getting a lot of recommendations to like colleges, to facilities, like to secret facilities and stuff, and also to like heroes academies to make to make gadgets and stuff because when Deku creates stuff, he creates a lot of technology things like not like high advanced technology, but he creates like technology that could be advanced and revolutionary, you could say. But pretty much Deku, is getting a lot of reputation. A lot of like college students is envy him. A lot of girls like him because he's intelligent, and also think he's quite unique and handsome. Rejected because he looks like a unique thing. But she pretty much ignores like cancel him and stuff and say nah. I just want to finish my high school year, and just do my own thing. Now, this is where Deku would be pretty much walking one day from home from school, and Bakugo would pretty much be talking to Deku, and Deku would be talking to Bakugo. This is where Deku will stop and ask Bakugo a question, and Bakugo will say, "Well, what is it?" This is where Deku will ask him permission and say, "Listen, Bakugo, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not really, 100% human." Which Bakugo will say, "What do you mean by that?" Which this is where Deku will be honest with him and tell him that he's actually fused. He tell him the whole story of what happened and tell him that he's an Eldritch, but him at the same time, but fused together, and explain the accent of what happened with the ship and stuff, and which Baku will, somewhat understand, and tell him that he's actually an alien and he wants to evolve the human race. And this is where Bakugo will be like, "Evolve? What do you mean evolve?" Which this is where Deku will pretty much tell him to come here and tap his forehead, which he will only show him information he wants to show him. And this is where Baku will back up and say, "So what are you trying to get at?" This is where Deku will pretty much say, "Well, I want you to be the first of the chosen. I want you to be half human, half alien, but the next evolution. Would you do this? Would you become the first, like, be the first evolution of humans?" Which Baku will first, think about this. And this is where Deku will, like, kind of do some of the manipulation, not like mind control or none of that. He would say like, "Don't you want to become the hero? Number one hero at that? Don't you always want to become just like All Might? Maybe with me letting me modify you and change you, you can become better than All Might. Hell, even better for time to come." Which this is where Bakugo, you know, thinks about it. He said, "Okay," and he says yes. Which Deku smiles and says, "Okay, then let's get this started." Then, which this is where they will head home. Now, after they head home, they will pretty much Deku will talk to I'm gonna say this is the weekend, so Deku will talk to no, this is be vacation. So Deku will talk to Inko. I'll say like a short vacation, like I'll say a holiday vacation where they be out for a week. This is where Deku will talk to Inko and Baka will talk to his mom, and they will both agree to let them go out to this camping, which Deku make up this camping thing, having this paper and stuff, and make that up. And Deku and Bakugo goes. Now, this is where pretty much Deku would um grab Bakugo and they will head to the ship. Now the ship will pretty much reveal itself, and this is where Bakugo will be, flabbergasted and be like, "What the?" And Deku will be like, calm down, bro. This is the ship. It's gonna take you. It's gonna take us to the HQ base, and we're gonna begin." Which Bakugo says, "Okay," and they head up and they start head down space to the alien spaceship, where, like I said, those couple months they was working on a new ship, new alien ship, and all that stuff. Now, this is where the aliens would pretty much come up to come to Deku, and Deku say, "I'm back," and they will be happy and stuff, talking to him in their alien language. And Deku will understand them and talk to him back. Which this is where the little alien will be coming up to Deku. I mean, coming up to Bakugo, sniffing it, or doing some sniffing, just looking up and down at Bakugo. And Bakugo will be like, "Who you looking at?" Which the alien will be like, mm, hypnotizing, like getting Bakugo dizzy a little bit, which Deku would say stop it, which the alien would be like and just be like walking away. Well, you could say running away, not trying to anger Deku. Now this is where they will pretty much, but Deku would tell Bakugo what he's gonna do, and pretty much they will run some tests on him, which this is where they will lay him on the table, and they would take some of Bakugo's blood, do some tests on him, and see if he's credible and stuff. And also, I would say Deku would also take out, also buy the quirk machine, well, the quirk thing to test out to see his quirk and stuff, and all that stuff to see what is quirk and how it works and stuff. So Deku will understand quirks and stuff, and I would say he will understand the quirks already earlier, because since I told you he was making stuff and unique gadgets and stuff, and people wanted to have him. So yeah, but pretty much this is where Deku would see Bakugo's quirk and see how it works, and Deku would notice that Bakugo's quirk work by sweat, and by the sweat as his pores and stuff, and say, "Huh, so that's how it works. I knew it was something like that." Which this is where Bakugo would get up and say, "Huh, so how you know my quirk works? So have you found anything?" Which Deku said, "Well, good news is we can modify you and get you ready. The other the other news is that your quirk work by sweat, but we can make it work by air." Which Bakugo will be amazing stuff, and this is where the testing begins. Now, for like the first uh the first 5 days, this is where Bakugo will be in the tube, and this is where Deku will start modifying Bakugo. Now, this is where I would say in the modification in XCOM, you can modify your soldier. I'm talking about the game right now. In XCOM, you can modify your soldier, giving them uh, like I say the modifications. You can have them go invisible, have them have community where they can go invisible and stuff. Uh, you can also have them get battle rage, so every time they beat up someone or kill someone, they inspire everybody else, give them boosts and all that. Also, they can have mind field like feedback, as if someone's trying to mind control them and stuff, they can send out feedback and damage the person who's trying to do that to them and make their brain hurt and shit or worse. Also, they have field deflector where they can defend their brain, so they can't really get mind control or anything like that, but it will stun them. The other one is also, like I said, the eyes thing. Uh, you can enhance their eyes where they can see farther and have better aim and stuff, or they can have the other eyes where if they miss their shots or anything, the next shots they make will be 100% more accurate. For like the skin, for the organs, they can you can double their hearts. Where if the first heart get hurt, or if they get fully zero, they will just go out into the wounded state instead of dying. And for the lungs, they can be like I said, immune to let me see. No, they can have much longer breathing. Much longer breathing. They'd be immune to poison and like all that stuff, fire and all that stuff. Now for the skin, it will be like I said, chameleon skin. They can go and walk. They can camouflage themselves and all that stuff. Or the other skin where they can regenerate their health. They can regenerate their skin and also body parts and stuff. That stuff can happen. And for the legs, uh, they can pretty much jump real high and stuff and all that stuff. Or like I said, the other one, regeneration and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, all that stuff. But that's pretty much it. I probably said that half wrong, but I'll refix it later on in the part two. But let's continue. Pretty much after that, Deku will have put Bakugo under the experimentations. Now, this is where Bakugo would go through experimentations and stuff, and Deku will start, messing with Bakugo's genetics, DNA, and moving some things out, giving him some things, and also, making sure everything goes well, so nothing will go wrong and stuff, and all that. So that will be for the first 5 days. Going in, and he's in the tomb too, so he's just uncautious. But Deku's like replacing stuff, putting stuff in, giving Bakugo two extra hearts, giving him some extra, giving him like more different lungs, powerful lungs, more stable, powerful lungs. Giving him extra bone generation. So if he gets cut or stabbed, it will regenerate over time. Also will give him like chameleon skin and also give him stone durable skin. Um, giving him chameleon skin and but also giving him home, like I said, different skin. Um, and also give him enhanced eyes, so his accuracy will be perfect. So if he does miss, his accuracy will get more enhanced and get more improved over time. Um, he also gives him mind block, right? So no one can really mind control him or manipulate him or stuff like that. And also give him feedback. So if anyone try to get in his head or mind control him, it will just go back to them and hurt them. And also like I said, give him the leg jump so he can jump real high up, can jump on buildings, on top of buildings, or jump over buildings, jump to the next building to building, and all that stuff. So that will be for the next 5 days. Now, after those 5 days, Deku is just, checking Bakugo, seeing how he's doing, and Bakugo's doing quite fine. Now, as Bakugo's in the tube thing, Deku will be analyzing Bakugo's quirk and seeing if he can, get Bakugo's quirk. Now, this is where Deku started, testing and stuff, and Deku found out how to basically how he can get Bakugo's quirk without taking his quirk and just adding in his arsenal. And this is where Deku goes to a procedure, and I'll say that takes 2 days, and he gets Bakugo's quirk, also with his creation quirk. So this is where Deku is testing out Bakugo's quirk and realized that his quirk, uh, his quirk is a little bit different. As instead of Bakugo's quirk can create explosions and stuff, and can also help him fly around and stuff, Deku's quirk is a little bit different. As when he creates explosion, it opens up a void rip, and as it opens up a void rip, he can have it. He can go through the void rip, or he can like damage people and have them be in the void rip and be stuck in there. And the void rip would be like a whole different. It can be in a whole different area as Deku's testing it out. But this is where Deku will be controlling it and understanding it more. Now, I say the next day, this is where Deku will be kind of finding some more participants, some people that is willing to, become the next evolution with humans. And this is where he will find a little girl, and this little girl will be homeless. Will be an orphaned little girl, and she'll be having a sickness, and she will have a quirk. Uh, and this is not no quirk from the My Hero Academia. This is gonna be a different girl. A totally girl I made up. So this is where this little girl will be pretty much walking, and her clothes ripped up and stuff, like kind of ragged, dirty and stuff. And she's pretty much coughing a little bit. And She would be on the sidewalk selling like some matches, and she would be like, uh, selling some matches. Which Deku would look at the little girl, be like, oh, I buy one. Which Deku will have $1 and give her one. But she'd say, thank you, sir. Which this is where she's coughing and stuff, and Deku would be like, are you sick? Which she would say, yeah, she has this sickness, which she has the orphanage can't pay for because they're broke as shit, and she's trying to fundraise her thing and trying to get a cure so she won't get any worse. Which Deku will say, "Huh, I see." Now this Deku wouldn't feel like Anthony or anything like any emotions like that, but he will start thinking, "I can have her," have her as one of the chosen as well. Now this is where Deku will take a knee to the little girl and be like, "How about I offer you this? How about I can cure your curedness in exchange you what a become the next evolution of humans? What did you say?" Which this little girl would be like, "What do you mean by that?" Which this is where Deku will say, "Well, you be kind of like a super soldier or like a superhero. You become like a superhero." Which the little girl would be like, "So I can become like a superhero?" But I don't know about my quirk. Which Deku would be like, "What is your quirk?" Which she would be like, "Say, I have telekinesis, but it's not as strong." Which Deku would be like, "Show me." Which this is where she will lift up a can, but it will start hurting her head and she will start having her nose bleed. Which Deku would be like, "Oh, I see. Well, if you come with me, I can have you be available to use your quirk and cure your sickness." Which the little girl will pretty much would think about it, and Deku will say, "Don't you want to be? Don't you?" Deku kind of say, "Ain't you sick or tired of like waiting for someone to come the next day to give you some money to pay for your sickness and stuff? I mean, to pay to give you money so you can pay for your sickness." Which the little girl will think about it, and she will agree to it. Now, Deku will say, "Okay," and smile, but at first he will go to the orphanage and buy the girl, adopt the girl, you could say. Which the orphanage lady, I'm gonna say this lady doesn't care for the kids, but if any kid go gone, it will go on her ass. So she would be like, "You want to adopt this kid?" Which she's looking at Deku, and Deku looks like a teenager, and Deku will pretty much bring out like I'll say $200 and be like $200 for this girl. Which the orphanage lady, like I said, don't give a fuck about the kids, but like I said, as long as she get money, she'll be like, she pretty much takes the money and says, "Deal." And she pretty much says, "All right, you can go with him." And the little girl will run up to Deku, hug him, and say, and Deku will say, "All right, let's go." And Deku will take her back to the ship. Now, this is where Deku will t- do the same thing with her and pretty much say, "Are you ready?" Which she pretty much says she was scared, and Deku will say, "Don't be scared. Nothing's that bad's gonna happen to you. You're just gonna go a little bit, do some tests and some changes, but you'll be fine and you'll be better than anyone, better than you used to before." Which she will smile and say, "Okay." And Deku will pretty much put her to the tube chain and begin to start modifying her as well, and also pretty much changing her genetics and seeing what he can do. Now, after that, this is where I say a week gone by, and Bakugo will pretty much come out. Well, no, I would say before the week ends. I'm gonna say this is like half the week now, and it's getting close to the end of the week. This is where Deku will pretty much see Bakugo, and Bakugo will the test tube chamber, tube thing will open up, like lifts up, and Bakugo will fall down, and he will start attaching himself with the wires and stuff, and he begins to start feeling himself with changes and stuff. This is where uh Deku will be smiling and say, "Are you ready?" Which Bakugo says, "I feel different, but yeah, let me see what I can do." Which this is where Bakugo will look around, and he will also see another tube with someone else in. Which this is where Bakugo will say, "Who's the girl?" Which Deku would say, "Oh, I'll tell you about that later. But right now, let's see what you can do." Which Bakugo says, "All right." Now this is where they will head out, and they will start going to like a bending building area, where they can train at, and Bakugo will be in like a workout outfit, and this is where they will start testing what Bakugo can do. Now, this is where Bakugo will start testing out what he can do. This is where he starts jumping over buildings. Uh, as Deku seeing if it was a success, he starts writing off the board. Bakugo starts jumping over buildings and stuff, jumping very high. Uh, yeah, jumping very high to the next building to the next. This is where also Bakugo started testing out his quirk and see what to have changes, and Bakugo started throwing in some explosions, and his accuracy with his explosions have changed as he also can see the difference. As every time Bakugo does explosion, it actually hits its target instead of hitting like create a big like missing and stuff. Also, this is where Deku hands Bakugo some like a bottle and tell him to throw it, but like focusing it, making sure the bottle will explode as it hits on the target. Bakugo does it, and the bottle will explode on it. Like before, like it just explodes like on like before impact, it hits the target and explodes. Which Deku is saying, okay, so he can infuse explosions with objects. Amazing, good. This is where Deku pretty much tells him to try to throw an explosion, uh, make a small explosion at this target, which pretty much Bakugo tries it and it works. And he pretty much marks off saying he can make explosions. He can throw small explosions and make small explosions instead of big ones. He checks it off. This is where Deku also says, "Now's the time to check out your endurance." This is where they start. Deku starts seeing how far Bakugo can go, and Bakugo can pretty much can run over 10 miles, which that's something, right? He can run over 10 miles. Now after that, he checks and he sees it has a lot of endurance. This is where he asks, "How's he feeling?" Bakugo says he doesn't even feel tired. He actually feels like he can go for another run, and Deku says, good," and he checks it off. Next is to check his regeneration abilities. This is where Deku says stand still and he cuts Bakugo, which Bakugo says, "Ow, what the hell was that for?" Which Deku says, "Shh." And he pretty much looks at Bakugo's hand, and Bakugo's hand pretty much begins to regenerate in a good rapid rate. It says, regeneration capabilities, well. Which Bakugo is saying, okay. Now this is where Deku begins to says, now this is where Deku begins to tell Bakugo with about his brain and tells Bakugo that he has brain feedback, which Bakugo says what that mean, which this is where uh Deku explains that he can pretty much, if anyone's trying to hypnotize him or like mind control him or anything like that, or do any manipulating with brain power, the feedback will go back to that user. It doesn't matter if it's with telekinesis or not telekinesis, which Bakugo says, I don't see what's the use of that, which Deku says, I don't know, it will come handy one day, as Deku says that. Now, after that, this is where they're done with the testing, and Bakugo asks, oh wait, no, I should probably say this. The final test was the chameleon, where see if he can go invisible, and also the C4, and pretty much it works all normally, and pretty much Deku marks it off as a success, and pretty much Bakugo becomes one of the first chosen. You could say one of the first chosen, and Deku is saying it's a success, and he says congratulations, Kashan. He becomes one of the first of the chosen, which Bakugo feels pretty good, and he feels amazed that he has these abilities and stuff, and pretty much Bakugo says, so does that mean I'm alien or something like you? Which Deku says, yeah, you're half alien, half human, you could say. which Bakugo is saying, huh, cool. I'm half alien. Which this is where they start smiling. You could say at each other. Now, after that, this is where they're walking back to the ship, and pretty much Bakugo asks Deku the question, who was that little girl in the tube? Which this is where Deku be be honest and tells Bakugo that happened. And tells Bakugo that he pretty much adopted a little girl from this orphanage and pretty much has her be the second chosen and having her as going through the tube and all that stuff. Which Bakugo says, so you experimenting on this little girl. Which Bakugo's feeling some type of way about it, but Deku's saying, hear me out. Yes, I'm experimenting on her, but I'm also carrying her sickness, which she has a sickness that's killing her. And she can't use her quirk, which she has a quirk of telekinesis where she can lift objects and stuff. I'm just trying to cure her and help her be better so she won't actually be vulnerable and be hurt like she was, which Deku says hurt like she was before. What do you mean? Which this is where Deku explains that this little girl was getting abused and she was out on the streets eating God's God unknown stuff and trying to survive and trying to pay for her treatment to get cured. Which Deku will feel, sympathetic and feel bad for yelling at Deku. I mean, feeling some type of way. I'm feeling being mad at Deku, which Deku would tell him it's okay. He should not feel bad, but just know before you start judging. Which Bakugo understands, and they head back. Now this is where the final days about to kick in. Before the final day kicks in, the tube opens and the little girl is out. Now, this is where the little girl will wake up in one of the different parts of the ship, in a bed, and in a cryo chamber, and it opens up and she gets up. Now, this is where one of the aliens, which the little girl will be a little scared of, but the little alien, like I showed y'all before, the little alien will go up to her and pretty much just blink and just hand her the clothes and pretty much head out. Which she'll pretty much say thank you, and the little alien will pretty much uh look confused of what thank you means, but he would just head out. Now, this is where she will put on the new clothes that Deku got for her, like the testing outfits, uh, workout outfits, and she pretty much think of the outfit from Lab Rats. How the children was wearing those little lab rat outfits. Yeah, it's like that. She pretty much head out and look around, and pretty much Deku, and she's like amazed by the alien ship, and Deku says, "Oh, you're finally up. How do you feel?" Which she pretty much look at her hand and stuff, and she says she feels much better. She feels not sick and not weak. Which Deku says, "Okay, good." And this is where Deku does something at her, does like a little something at her and says catch, which she pretty much uses her telekinesis, without knowing, use her telekinesis, and she pretty much holds it, and it doesn't hurt her. Like she says, I can use my quirk, which she begins to start being excited, and she accidentally starts to fly, lifts herself up, which Deku is saying, so your telekinesis can also have you fly and stuff. Interesting. Which, Deku is just, writing this stuff down and amazed by the quirk. Now, as that's happening, the girl pretty much flies Deku and hugs him, pretty much thanking him again, which Deku says, oh, it's no problem. But let's get you tested out and seeing what you can do. Now, this is where pretty much Deku would test out the girl before this weekend, and she begins to test out her abilities and stuff, seeing what she can do. And Deku is also testing out her, seeing what she can do. She pretty much begins to fly around, also use her telekinesis and all that stuff. This is where he also alter her brain power in making her higher intellect than the average. So he basically alter her brain to unlock her brain 100% full 100% access to it. You can say it like that. And no, humans don't use their brain 100%, okay? We only use only certain percents of our brains. Depends on the person, but humans don't use 100% of their brain. Okay, because if we can, we will already be in the future right now. But let me continue. Pretty much, he unlocked 100% of her brain, so she begins to start doing the IQ test, and she does way beyond average of any human. Like, I say 500 of the IQ. So she's a educational smarty. Okay, she's beyond a nerd, you could say. But pretty much she passed all the tests and stuff, and also passed the engineering thing. And Deku is impressed and sees that she's very intelligent. But this is where uh, she begins to have visions, and she pretty much falls down to the ground, which Deku catches her, and she wakes back up, saying, and she begins to start crying, saying she saw something, and she saw him being hurt. Seeing him getting attacked and getting grabbed by this weird sludge thing, which Deku is confused of what she's talking about, but she starts to explain that she can, she saw like him now, but like him in the like wearing the school uniform and stuff, and going to school but walking home, which this is where he thinks, like, assume, like, this is where Deku thinks and says she can see through the future, which this is where Deku would be even more intrigued and amazed. Now, this is where Deku begins to run a little bit more experimented before his time, and realize that she can see in the future, but not for very long. But it's evolving, like it's developing more, it's growing more, you could say. Now, after that, Deku pretty much tells the little girl that he will come back. If you want to name her, name her in the comments, and whoever like name her first or has a good name that I can actually pronounce and stuff, I will put it in the next part of the video. But let's continue. Pretty much after that, Deku pretty much tells her to stay in the ship with the aliens, and tells the aliens to watch over her, make sure she's safe and stuff, and also she's eating and all that, and tell them to continue their daily work, which all the aliens agree, and begins to go on doing their work. Now, this is where Bakugo and Deku heads back to their houses, and this is where Deku tells Bakugo not to tell his mom yet that he got modified, altered, and changed. His DNA got changed yet until it's time, which Bakugo agrees, and they don't do it. They don't tell Inko or Bakugo's mom yet. After that, this is where they head homes, and the next day, and they both do their own thing, go sleep and whatever. But this is pretty much part 1, or you could say part 0, of what if Deku was half human and half Eldar, from XCOM. If you like, leave a like, do all that stuff. Let's just get this up to like 10 likes. I'm not gonna ask for anything big because I know I don't do videos like that, but let's just get up to 10 likes. I will try to do a video later on today. By the time this video get posted and stuff, and if it's up to 10 likes and stuff, I will do a part 2, and I will do another video. Depends if we get this up to 10 likes. But my name is Keyshawn Chia. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.